Good morning. Welcome to the 8th grade recognition ceremony. The students will now procession.
Good morning. Trustees, parents, distinguished guests, faculty, and most importantly, 8th grade. Good morning. Welcome to our 8th grade recognition ceremony. Part of being a community is sharing in joyful moments like this, but also, sadly, sharing in sad moments. And before we really get going, I can't finish the year without once again acknowledging that we did lose Jackson Buckner at the beginning of the year. Sorry to do this, 8th graders, as we start the ceremony, but as a part of a community, I do think it's important to remember and to honour. And later on today, when we have the 6th and 7th grade ceremony, we'll be doing more of that. But I just did want to acknowledge that today as we begin the ceremony. So, here we go. I'm going to speak mostly in the next couple of minutes about next year. I'm going to leave it to others more qualified than I to talk about the year that has just been completed. Last night we graduated 129 seniors at the Strathmore ceremony. It was a wonderful ceremony. The parents were extremely grateful that it took an hour and 15 minutes. Hopefully it's going to be about the same timing this morning. And 8th graders, I know this seems impossible, but it will be a blink of an eye before I give diplomas to 73 of the 81 students that are sitting in front of me today. It will fly by so very quickly. I think that the transition you are just about to make from 8th grade to 9th grade is potentially the most significant transition you will make, other than maybe from high school to college. It is really significant. It 5th to 6th pales into insignificance. This is really significant. You will get so much more independence, you will have so much more responsibility, and so less parenting. At least in terms of what it comes to in the school. Your parents just will not be around as much, especially as you get into 10th grade and start driving and things like that. You are a terrific grade. You are so ready. I and the faculty are very confident that you are going to succeed. You will experience so much success in the coming years. Academically, yes. Athletically, artistically, and I hope socially too. But fortunately, you're also going to experience adversity and failure. There are going to be moments where you have tried really hard and you don't get that grade that you want or you think you deserve. There will be moments when a great athletic rival is going to inflict a terrible defeat. There is going to be some social difficulty. You may not be cast in the role that you want in the play. I say fortunately, not because I'm mean, I may well be mean as well, but I say fortunately because experiencing adversity and failure, especially as you become an adolescent and providing you persevere, is absolutely crucial to you developing the grit and the character that you're going to need to succeed in later life. You're already getting it, you're already succeeding and failing now and building that character, and it becomes even more important over the next 4 years. I actually think that Michael Jordan, very different. Michael Jordan said it in a really sort of counterintuitive, jarring way. He said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, and 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." Okay, enough about failure. Let's get on to next year and successes too. I'm going to ask this class to help me with two things next year. You may have already heard that next year there are going to be much stricter rules around cell phones and earplugs. Don't know if you've heard that or not. Actually, maybe I won't have 73 kids coming back next year if I go on to... I've just realised I better be careful here. All of a sudden, there's 13 students returning. There will be stricter rules about cell phone use in school. It's not because we're trying to deprive you. To the contrary. The science is absolutely clear that excessive social media use, social media addiction, cell phone addiction has had horrific consequences on young people and frankly adults as well. And that's partly why you've had so many blue and gold days this year, because of my cell phone use. We are going to make a difference and I need your help. We're not doing it to deprive you, we're doing it to help. And you can be leaders in this new endeavour and help us, please. The second thing I want to say is, as I said, we've got 73 students returning next year. We have 85 new 9th graders joining us. It is an amazing opportunity to mix the classes and for us to take advantage of that. I'm going to ask you to reach out. I know you're all going to have your friends there. And actually some of the schools, some of the students that are coming in have come from Norwood, for example, have lots of students coming from that school. But it's an ideal time to branch out, make new friends, new connections, and join in together as an entire grade. The grade that you will be with for 4 years. It's going to be the largest grade in our history, and we believe the strongest grade. And that's saying something when you look at the class list and the college list from last night. So, very last thing for me are some thanks. Parents, thank you so very much. I have been just overawed since I've been at Bullis by the support and partnership that we've received from the parent body, and you have just been so wonderful. Obviously you support your children, but the faculty and the leadership really feel that you support us too. Thank you so very much. And faculty, I believe we have got an extraordinary middle school faculty. I think it was illustrated most clearly with the incredible Costa Rica trip. The amount of effort, the amount of professionalism, the amount of care that our faculty and Dr. Marino and her leadership team exhibit every day is incredible, and I think is a big reason why we've got such a great 8th grade class. Faculty, Marilyn, your team, thank you so very much. And so, enough from me. It is my very great pleasure to welcome our first student speaker, Noah Dashoff.
How's school going is a question that I've been asked way too many times. I've received this polite question from family, from friends of my aunt's boss's daughter-in-law. Well, that one's a stretch. My usual answer is good, or sometimes I'll throw in I like it a lot, but I have so much more to say. I made the choice to apply to Bullis in the fall of 2021, not very long into 7th grade. At that point, school was reasonable, and I had a generous group of friends, but academically, I knew that somewhere there would be so much more. Considering my English teacher quit midway through the year, and I watched Grey's Anatomy every day from 2 to 3 p.m., the bar was pretty low. I am so thankful for my parents for letting me explore my options to find a school with amazing teachers who teach actually interesting lessons, even though I was already a basically fully trained surgeon. Every time I came to Bullis for a tour placement test, I was definitely intimidated by the large campus and uniforms, but at the same time, I felt that this was the place for me and the feeling couldn't have been more right. I'm so fortunate and overall thrilled that I get to go to a school where I have freedom in my learning and have opportunities like this to excel in what I like to do best, write. Throughout this year, I decided to keep a journal and write in it once a week so I could remember what my last year of middle school was like. This way, in 30 years, when I have my own family, maybe my kids and I would reopen it and see what life was like in the roaring 2020s. What I didn't expect was to open it just months later and see all of my growth from what felt like just yesterday. On Sunday, September 4th, 2022, I wrote about how I was hesitant to start at a new school. But luckily, I can now say on Monday, May 8th, 2023, the night before the speech was due, that I have so much admiration for Bullis and that I wouldn't want to be at any other school. I know that I will try to continue this throughout high school because the feeling of looking back on an entire school year and having physical evidence of your growth is mind-opening. I want to thank all of my teachers, friends, family, and the Bullis community because I know now that if someone asks me, how's school going, even if it's because of basic manners, I can share this speech. Finally, twisting the words of beloved surgeon Dr. Derek Shepard, it's a beautiful day to complete middle school. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce our second speaker from the 8th grade class, Juliet Wade.
Good morning, 8th grade students, family, and friends. I'm so excited to be here celebrating this important milestone with my classmates. As many of you know, Bullis' 3 core values are caring, challenging, and community. Core values are something we don't really talk about often throughout the year. Since we're reflecting on times at Bullis, I think that it would be a great time to revisit them. Caring is demonstrated every day, like when our teachers offer to help us during any free period they have, even before school. And I know my classmates would agree that we're challenged, like when we had to get through level 3 rapids in Costa Rica or facing a difficult math problem. But the value that is most important to me is community. I came to Bullis in 6th grade, which was the peak of COVID-19. What a great time to start going to a new school. I was worried that it would be difficult to make new friends, especially because only half the grade was in school at a time. However, as soon as I walked into my first class, chose my seat, and was immediately asked questions like, "Is this your first year at Bullis? What school did you go to before this?" That made me feel a lot better. A few months into school, we learned that hybrid learning was ending, and we would all be back in school together. Once again, I was nervous because I felt like I would have to make new friends. I shouldn't have been, though, because even when the number of people in middle school doubled, it felt like nothing had changed. Everyone was excited to be together and got along immediately. People made new friends and welcomed students they had just met. This is when I really learned what community means at Bullis. Throughout my time here, there have been many other examples of community. This year, many middle school theater students wanted to get to know the upper school theater students, but wondered if they would want to hang out with us because we were younger. We had no reason to worry, though, because we were instantly accepted into their loving community. We've had so much fun together. Many of the upper school theater students attend the middle school musical, and the middle schoolers always go to every single performance that the upper schoolers put on. We are always the first to stand up and cheer after the show. There are so many examples like this every day at school. Teachers always come to students' games and activities. Everybody gathers at the lockers to talk before school starts, not just friend groups, everybody. When my classmate misses a day of school, there's always someone to check up on them and fill them in on what they miss. My friends and I laugh about Mr. G's banana socks that he got in Costa Rica. And whenever you're having a bad day, students and teachers are always there to listen and be supportive. During my time in middle school, I've learned a lot, like how to draw a board diagram, design a monument, and even how to interpret Shakespearean text. But one of the most important valuable things that I have learned is that community is everything. Next year, our grade will double in size. My message to the 8th grade class is to always put community first. Make sure everyone feels included. Welcome new students into our amazing school and into your friend groups. Go out of your way to make sure they can find their classes and have someone to sit with at lunch. Or just say hi, because a simple hello can make someone's day. Show them what community means at Bullis. I know we will. Thank you. Next, we will hear from some of our 8th grade classmates as they share their favorite Bullis memories.
I remember when I participated in the Bullis Building Engineering Fair. I was really proud of my friends and myself because it felt like it took us forever to finish the bridge. Although we didn't win the contest, it was a very fun experience and took a lot of perseverance.
I remember the first time I saw my friends again in 7th grade after they have been online for a whole year. I gave them an air hug because we still have to stay 6 feet.
I remember the time we went to Costa Rica when we went to Los Lagos, which is a water park, and with a lot of help of my friends, I went on a water slide. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of water slides, it was extremely fun.
I remember going on the field trip to the Jefferson Memorial and being so impressed about how large and tall the statue was compared to us. I enjoyed learning about the history of America and realized how lucky I am to live so close to the nation's capital.
I remember being in the middle school musical and laughing, smiling, and a lot of singing. This is one of my favorite memories because I met so many friends, and I owe all my thanks to my teachers and the cast who helped me finish the amazing musical.
I remember the time in Costa Rica when we went ziplining really high over the rainforest. I thought I was going to go with a guide and my friend, but once I was up next, they told me I had to go alone. I was really scared, but once I went, I had so much fun.
I remember the spring break assembly in 7th grade, where masks were finally off and there was a good feeling in the air. The assembly consisted of a lot of fun musical games. During the assembly, there was a moment when Grant went on stage and led an amazing concert. Afterward, we went to the seniors for staff basketball game, and it was a really fun and energetic time.
I remember when I first stepped into Miss McFall's science classroom on the first day of 7th grade. Before that day, I didn't really like science at all. On the first day in class, I started to grow a love for science because Miss McFall made everything so fun and interesting. One time we were learning about forensics and she made a crime scene, and she had us look at everything closely to find clues. We also had to go deeper and make predictions about who killed the victim. This was one of the many things we did that made science one of my favorite subjects. She also made me believe in myself because she was so motivating and positive about everything. Because of Miss McFall, I grew a love for science. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for those wonderful memories. So why don't we continue with reflections and take a walk down memory lane. It all began in 2016 when 9 students enrolled in 2nd grade. Emmanuel, Jackson, Julia, Karina, DR, Toan, Nathan, Sydney, and Kaylee served as trailblazers when they entered lower school. They enjoyed their lower school experience and adjusted well to new friends and classmates as they watched their group grow from 9 to 81 in a few short years. To put 2016 in perspective, President Obama became the first sitting president to visit Hiroshima, Japan. Peyton Manning and Kobe Bryant retired from the NFL and NBA. The Chicago Cubs won their first World Series since 1903. Justin Bieber became the first artist to ever occupy the entire top 3 spots in the official singles chart. And the Olympic Games were held in Rio. The following year, 8 students joined this prestigious group: Lila, Xander, Ella, Jacob, Kaylin, Lee, Kylie, and Dylan. This was the year President Trump was elected into office. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. The U.S. women's national soccer team reached its 500th win after defeating Portugal. And the greater Washington metropolitan area went crazy when the Washington Capitals won their first Stanley Cup in the franchise's history. We're still excited about that. Moving right along to 2018, Zach, Ryan, and Grayson became Bullis Bulldogs. So what happened in 2018? We had hoped to see back-to-back wins from the Washington Capitals. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, welcomed their first baby boy, Archie Harrison, to the world. The Me Too movement went global. There were a number of record-breaking victories for women in the political arena. TikTok became popular, and the movie Black Panther was a huge success. Wakanda forever. The following year, the 5th grade classrooms were full, so no new students were not enrolled. You probably thought we had a blank slide. No, nobody enrolled that year. Everybody that returned was Bullis family. In the year 2019, the government shutdown became one of the longest in U.S. history at 22 days, leaving 800,000 employees unpaid. The Washington Nationals won the championship against all odds. Tom Brady won his 6th championship, the most NFL World Championships ever by a single player. The United States women's soccer team defeated France, and the first case of COVID-19 was confirmed by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. That was January 21st. 6th grade is usually a big entry year for the middle school division, and this 6th grade class was no different. 26 new students entered the doors of South Hall. Alisan, Leo, Abby, Mac, Miles, Sophie, Grace, William, Caleb, Musa, AJ, Meyer, Ty, Katie, Joao, Max, Russell, Anderson, Soleil, Ivana, Grant, Jack, Jared, Juliet, Brady, and Emma were welcomed with open arms. I'm sure you remember the year Jimmy Carter became the longest living United States president when he became 97 years old. NBA legend Kobe Bryant had a fatal helicopter crash at the age of 41, and life, as we knew it, changed. The CDC documented a case of human-to-human transmission, and COVID-19 became a worldwide pandemic. President Trump declared a national emergency in response to the virus. Businesses and schools shut down. Social distancing became a household word. Emergency remote learning began, and Bullis staff worked around the clock to reshape instruction to provide continuous learning. In 2021, we welcomed 19 more students to this amazing group. Navarro, Eli, JT, Haley, Iman, Abe, Aiden, Z, Jenna, Nori, Chloe, Anthony, Mason, Maddie, Lila, Sarianne, Sam, Nick, and Dylan. It seemed as though COVID was in the rearview mirror during the early summer months, but variants quickly dispelled that myth. Vaccines became widely available for certain age groups. Joe Biden became president. A crowd of individuals breached the Capitol's barrier, often referred to as the insurrection battle. Supply chains began to falter, gas prices began to rise, and Rich Strike, the American thoroughbred racehorse, upset the 2022 Kentucky Derby by winning with 80-1 odds. And Encanto was the movie of the year. We Don't Talk About Bruno was a huge hit. 2022, Chandler, Noah, Lila, Claire James, Mateo, Lily, Jason, Lizzie, Ella, Ava, Georgia, Cameron, Sebi, Eitan, Alexa, and Ivana rounded out this dynamic group. 2022 was defined by the breakout of the war between Russia and Ukraine. A record number of COVID-19 cases with the Omicron variant made its way back. Queen Elizabeth's celebration of 70 years on the throne was celebrated, and then her passing shortly thereafter. Parents patiently sat by computers waiting to refresh to get concert tickets for Taylor Swift. The best pop song by Miley Cyrus was Flowers, and there was the anticipation of The Little Mermaid, the remake featuring Halle Bailey as Ariel. The middle school staff is very proud of the 81 students that slowly trickled into South Hall over the years. This resilient group of students, known as the class of 2027, will take their rightful place in upper school in the fall. Class of 2027. The middle school faculty looks forward to the positive ways you will make our world an even better place to live. We know there will be challenges, but we also know you are resourceful and prepared to meet all of those obstacles with success. Congratulations on a job well done. Last week, we had an achievement award for the 8th graders. The winners are presented in your program. I'd like to ask all the award recipients from last week to please stand. Congratulations on your award, and again. So we left 4 awards to present today, and the students never know who they are. So let's get started. I have the honor of presenting the Head of Middle School Award. This award recognizes a student in 8th grade that makes a positive contribution to the middle school division. Although the award is listed as the Head of the Middle School Award, it is an award that is decided by many faculty members after much consideration, discussion, and consensus. Numerous factors are involved when identifying recipients, including an extraordinary work ethic, a positive attitude, and an energetic spirit. This 8th grade recipient is a student that gets along well with everyone. Just ask Ms. Gerhardt. She says the student is a wonderful human being. He deeply cares about others, loves learning, and brings joy everywhere he goes. In other words, he embodies the Bullis core values. Caring. That's how Mrs. Velikowski sees him. He's the poster child for caring. In her words, selfless, kind, humble, and leads by example. Challenging, according to Mrs. Anzalone, he's the glue of the language arts class. He actually made Quizlets to help the class when they had challenging assignments. And community. Mrs. Cameron witnessed the students help a couple in the community as they struggled with a young baby on an airplane. Then she also witnessed them stop to help an older man that stumbled while on a school field trip in Washington, D.C. I can honestly say in the 3 years I've known Caleb, where are you, Caleb? You can start making your way up here. In the 3 years I've known Caleb, he stops to say hello. He asks about my day. We discuss the weekend. He's a born leader, an outstanding student, and a phenomenal hockey player. Congratulations, Caleb. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Wong to the podium to present the Jerry May Achievement Award.
As Dean of Students, it is my pleasure to present the Jerry May Achievement Award, which is named after one of Bullis's beloved community members. Jerry May was a self-proclaimed jack of all trades. In the fall of 1961, he began his career at Bullis as a history and biology teacher, as well as a coach for football, baseball, and basketball. In 1971, when the school moved from Silver Spring to Potomac, Mr. May became the middle school athletic director, followed by Dean of Discipline, and then the middle school principal, and finally ended his career as director of alumni. Jerry May was truly an invaluable member of the Bullis community throughout his 37 years of service and beyond. He touched the lives of so many with his unwavering encouragement, support, and guidance. It is an honor to recognize middle school students who are deserving of an award in Mr. May's namesake. The Jerry May Achievement Award recognizes outstanding performance during the course of a student's year in middle school. This prize represents the innermost values of working hard to improve, collaborating with classmates, thinking independently, and persevering even when the task seems much too arduous. The recipients are decided by a consensus of all faculty members. This year's recipient has truly embodied the hardworking spirit of this award. Here are some of the amazing anecdotes that her teachers noticed of her this year. Not only has the student been described as hardworking and kind by Ms. Gerhardt, but she also battles through challenging problems when faced with them, along to Ms. Cameron. Sorry. Along the same lines, Mr. Giffaloni says that this student always goes above and beyond and is a model for her peers. I can speak from my experience working with National Junior Honor Society this year that she is a great leader and often leads through example and quiet words. Nonetheless, she has a major positive impact on the group and in the Bullis community as a whole. The rest of the 8th grade teachers agree that this student's hard work, leadership, and willingness to help others are something to celebrate and acknowledge proudly. We hope that she continues to put forth this enormous effort in school and in life. Please join me in congratulating Jenna Herbst on receiving this year's Jerry May Achievement Award. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kesmarsky to present the John Spencer Citizenship Awards.
This morning, I have the honor of presenting the John Spencer Citizenship Award to two outstanding members of the 8th grade class. Although I never had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Spencer, I was able to research insightful information from Susan King's book entitled Onward Faring, A History of Bullis School. Susan writes, "The Bullis story would be incomplete without including the dapper, principled, talented, and remarkable Englishman, Mr. John Spencer. Mr. Spencer impacted the evolution of the school and influenced every student who entered his classroom. From the Bulldog mascot to a collection of Bulldog figurines, from extraordinary teaching to a meaningful citizenship award, from his amiable, gentlemanly manners to his mischievous sense of humor, Mr. Spencer epitomized the best of Bullis. His career spanned decades, from 1947 to his retirement in 1981, and long after. Even in his elderly years, he stayed in close touch with the school before passing away in 2008. For many years, former ancient history teacher Mr. Glenn Hunter presented this annual award and would always end his speech by saying, "You should be honored that the award you are about to receive bears the name of this man who for so many years did so much for our school. You should be proud that in the eyes of your teachers, you have distinguished yourselves in the very area of school life that Mr. Spencer considered the most important, citizenship." Today's first recipient is described as a constant source of positivity and kindness, says Mr. Jeffaloni. He continues by saying, so much of what she does is aimed at helping others and improving the Bullis community. In math, Ms. Cameron has applauded this student for setting her own standard goals high. Ms. Cameron says she is able to reach her goals through perseverance, but always makes that effort look effortless. Ms. Kowalski states, through and through, she is kind and welcoming to all. There has never been an exchange without a smile, pleasant word, or helping comment with adults and peers. She truly exemplifies caring and community through her actions and words. For this, we celebrate Elizabeth Lizzie Mum as our first recipient of the John Spencer Citizenship Award. Ms. Velikovsky describes the second recipient as a kind soul. She also added, being highly proficient in Spanish, he always helped his peers generously and humbly. That's just the way he is. Mr. Wong noticed that this individual even helped at school functions without holding an official leadership title in student government or National Junior Honor Society. Ms. Cameron appreciates how this recipient is kind and thoughtful, but also pointed out that he has mastered the balance of joking without causing distraction. That's a very good trait to have. Ms. Gerhardt sums it up by saying, he is equally able to have conversations with students and adults, but most importantly that he is helpful, kind, and respectful to all. Congratulations to our second John Spencer Citizenship Award recipient, Malcolm Mack Carisny. At this time, please join me in welcoming Mr. Sullivan back to the podium to present the Award for General Excellence in Studies.
Thank you. The Award for General Excellence in Studies is synonymous with an award for the valedictorian, the person who has the highest academic average in each class. And The brevity of my citations for student awards should not be taken as a reflection on the student, but rather just my attempt at brevity. So this student, I've got some quotes from teachers to illustrate the excellence of this student. Mr. Jeffaloni says, not only is she an excellent student, she's an even better person. Mrs. Cameron says, in math, she's meticulous in her work. She notices every nuance and detail of a problem, rarely making even the smallest of mistakes. And Miss Mayer says she's literally the foundation of the orchestra. In science, Mrs. Amji says her engagement, collaboration with others, and persistence to succeed are excellent. It is my pleasure sorry, I need my glasses. It is my pleasure to present the award for general excellence to Grace Lai.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. We will present the recognition certificates to our 8th grade students. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Holman to the podium.
Lila Anzalone. Emmanuel Bailey. Alison Barrow. Leo Bell. Abby Binstock. Navarro Bowman. Eli Brenner. Chandler Brewington. Mac Chrisney. Noah Dashoff. Xander Domask. Ella Domask. J.T. Donahue. Jackson Eberstein. Miles Epstein. Lila Ferguson. Haley Fredericks. Iman Gassemian. Abe Gold. Clara Gomez. Zachariah Hackey in absentia. Julia Hausfeld. Aiden Heitkamp. Ezekiel Hellman. Mateo Helton. Jenna Herbst. Nori Sin. Karina Hunter. Chloe Jacobs. Ryan Jager. Liliana Katz. Sophie Keating. Anthony Kreitz. Grace Lai. You're welcome. Jacob Lang. William Lash II. Caleb Lee. Jason Liu. Mason Marr. Musa Malik. Anthony Manjan. Madison Manny. Meyer McFeely. Kaylin Mendirata. Ty Milton. Katie Maury. Elizabeth Mum. João Manchcarneiro. Dr. Nasehi. Tuan Nguyen. Max Pepper. Lee Phelps. Russell Pita. Grayson Poole. Ella Proper. Lila Ratner. Anderson Recker. Ava Reynolds. Georgia Reynolds. Sirianne Robinson. Samuel Romero. Soleil Russell. Cameron Sangani. Ivana Sayem. Sebastian Schroth. Nathan Schwartz. Eitan Skolnick. Grant Stevenson. Alexa Telly. Jack Tiotia. Jared Tucker. Sydney Tucker. Juliet Wade. Braden Walsh. Nick Whitehouse. Ivana Wilson Manyaka. Kylie Works. Dylan Zaharia. Emma Zun. Dylan Zimski. Kaylee Zuckerman. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Moreno back to the podium as we close out today's ceremony.
In closing, resilient, flexible, resourceful, and unique are adjectives that come to mind when I think about this 8th grade class. I choose these adjectives because you're looking at 81 students that were the most impacted by disruptive education in the middle school division during the COVID-19 pandemic. Each student sitting in front of me today had a 6th grade and a 7th grade year riddled with remote learning and hybrid instruction. They mastered getting dressed daily in uniform, at least from the waist up. They sat at a computer, video camera on, in their homes for hours and logged into Google Meet or Zoom. With only 1 year left in middle school, they finally had a chance to experience a more traditional classroom setting, creating a need to readjust, re-engage, as well as an opportunity to unmask and finally be in person. So I am so glad that this was the first 8th grade class to travel internationally, making Bullis Middle School history. Can we give them a round of applause? They definitely deserve the honor of having this unique academic and social bonding experience with teachers and peers. I want to thank all of the parents for working with us in partnership over the past 3 years. And on a side note, parents, I truly appreciate each 8th grade parent for supporting the trip to Costa Rica. I know this was a nail-biting experience for many of you, but once we returned and you exhaled, we can all look back and say it was truly a success. 8th grade parents, please stand. Give them a round of applause. You are awesome. Resilient, flexible, resourceful, and unique are also the adjectives that apply when I think about the 8th grade faculty. Our teachers not only understood the importance of developing positive rapport when students were at home the past 3 years, they developed creative lessons to match these unique times. And they graciously sacrificed an entire week away from their own families to travel to Costa Rica with the students. So they're not all here, but those that are, if I could ask you to stand, I'd like to also recognize you. I'm going to ask Claire to stand back up. Ms. Holman is starting a new chapter in her life, and she will not be returning to Bullis in the fall. Claire, I'd like to publicly thank you for your service to Bullis. You're a phenomenal teacher, colleague, and friend. You will truly be missed. Good luck with your future. And last but not least, to the resilient, flexible, resourceful, and unique ninth graders. Hey. Never forget the memories you made, the lessons you learned, and the friendships you formed while in our division. I close by simply saying what I love to say at the end of these ceremonies. Behind you, wonderful moments. In front of you, all of your dreams. Around you, all who love you. Within you, all you need. Congratulations. Please stand. And parents, if I could ask you to stand as well, they will sing the alma mater one last time as 8th graders before going into 9th grade. You'll find the words in the program. Parents, you may be seated. We are going to recess in a few minutes. Parents, if you can stay seated while we do that. The students and the faculty will recess, and we will meet you in the lobby. So, before we recess, one last round of applause. I present to you the newly promoted class of 2023.
Good job.